My name is Stephanie, and this is Ginger Snap Kitchen. The first thing I did was scald 1/2 cup of milk by bringing it to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, then back down to 110 degrees. I removed it from the heat and stirred in 1/2 stick of butter. Once the butter was melted, I set the mixture aside and allowed it to cool to room temperature. Meanwhile, to a large bowl, I added 1/3 cup of warm water and 1 packet of active dry yeast. Then I added 1 tablespoon of the granulated sugar, and I let this mixture stand for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, when the yeast mixture started bubbling, I added the cooled milk butter mixture. Then I added 1 whole egg, the rest of the granulated sugar, salt, and freshly ground nutmeg. Once everything was well combined, I transferred it to the bowl of my stand mixer. Using the dough hook attachment, I gradually added the flour. Once the flour was incorporated and the dough pulled together, I allowed the machine to knead it for about 10 minutes until it was elastic and smooth. When the dough was ready, I transferred it to a lightly oiled bowl. I turned the dough in the bowl so it was lightly coated in oil. Then I covered it with plastic wrap and let it rise in a warm place for about 2 hours. After 2 hours, I punched it down and turned it out onto my work surface. I floured the dough as needed, and then I rolled it out into a large, wonky rectangle, about 10 by 16 inches. It was at this point I remembered I was supposed to make the filling, so I did that by combining brown sugar, flour, cinnamon, and chopped pecans. Then I mixed it together until it was crumbly, and I added 1/4 cup of cooled melted butter. Once it was well mixed, I sprinkled the filling as evenly as I could over the dough and rolled it up tightly, lengthwise. Then I formed it into an oval ring shape. I placed the ring on a parchment-lined cookie sheet. Then, using scissors, I made cuts about 1/3 of the way through the ring at 1-inch intervals. Then I let it rise again in a warm spot for about 45 minutes. After that, I baked it for about 30 minutes until it was golden brown. When the cake had cooled enough to handle, I added the traditional baby figurine by shoving it into a random spot inside the cake. The baby symbolizes luck and prosperity for whomever finds it, and that person is also responsible for purchasing or making next year's cake. Be sure to warn your guests the baby is inside to prevent anyone from choking. I covered the surface of the cake with a glaze made of powdered sugar and milk, and I applied it while it was still warm. While the glaze was wet, I applied sanding sugar in the traditional Mardi Gras colors of purple for justice, gold for power, and green for faith. hope you enjoyed watching me make this. It was a fun project, and it tasted very much like a cinnamon roll. If you did enjoy it, I hope you'll come back and see the next one. Be sure to like it and leave me a comment if you have something to say. As always, thank you so much for watching, and
don't forget to subscribe.